Hello, everyone. It's December the 5th, Tuesday, and we got several things to go through here. We'll go through them as quickly as I possibly can, and just remember that this is Joyful Nights, and we'll talk about that in just a second. I've got to tell you this, especially with Christmas trees and everything, you got to be careful. But we've had 5 fatalities, due to fire, and these devastating fires. It's sad. It's terrible. I pray, as Kathy and I do, for these families and our courageous firefighters that fight these terrible fires. Like I said, it's Christmas time. Trees are lit and people are working in their kitchens and all that. And so we just got to be a little bit extra careful. So please keep these folks in your prayers, and let's try to be super careful in the days ahead. This is another one I want to talk about just a second, but you've seen where recently the Biden administration has joined the Powering Past Coal Alliance, at this big international climate change conference last week. Basically what the Biden administration is saying, John Kerry and everybody is saying, we absolutely are pledging to kill coal. Kill it. Absolutely, just make it go away. Well, in my opinion, it's the dumbest thing on the planet. But it all originated with Barack Obama. And Barack Obama has been poisoning our lives, in my opinion, from day one. And I can tell you that bled right into Hillary Clinton and, her visit, with Joe Manchin here, and basically said, we're going to get rid of coal. And went right into, I think, Logan County and made that statement, at either the home or somewhere with, a couple of our coal miners or coal miner families. I mean, I don't know how it gets any dumber, but the net of the whole thing is, we absolutely are on this quest, with this administration, and thank God, they could very well be on the way out. And that's what we need to have happen. But with all that being said, the insanity continues, and whether the insanity is at the border or inflation or Afghanistan or crime and all the different things that are going on in the cities, and it is, the craziness is out of control, and the craziness is only going to absolutely blow our own legs off. And so with all that being said, we know where the craziness is coming from, and we need to push back. And I promise you, I'm trying to push back as much as I possibly can. But my goodness gracious, these people are on a quest, and they're on a quest to eradicate us. And so let's push as hard as we possibly can. I think American Water, I don't want to say that they finally came to their senses, but at least, they're late to the party, but they're coming to the party. Earlier this week, American Water has announced it will aid affected residents up to $2,000 for expenses during the gas outage. That's significant. We want to always be grateful and thank them for what I would call coming to their senses. But these people have been really, really hurting. I've said over and over and I've only said what I think is governed by the evidence. But the evidence was this was caused by a blowout in a main American Water line, and then it blew up the gas line, and then water in the gas lines for 46 plus miles and all kinds of issues. But let's absolutely be thankful for the fact that American Water is stepping up and doing what they're doing here. And so to all the people down in the west side, I want to read this one thing. Residents can process claims by calling or visiting in person, and will need to provide necessary documents, which you can find out about on the American Water website. So Absolutely, one more time. Residents can process claims by calling or visiting in person and will need to provide necessary documents, which you can find out about on their website. So absolutely go on it and everything. And we thank the folks, for stepping up, and maybe this will help a bunch of people at a time of year that we need to absolutely be helping folks. And we've tried to do so, in declaring a state of emergency, and we did that. I instructed our National Guard to jump in with both feet. We surely, put a bunch of money in the deal, and so I think we helped a lot of folks. And by doing so, I thank our National Guard and all the people that stepped up. But we did it, and we acted, and that's what I always try to do. Communities and schools. We have big news about communities and schools in our Department of Education in West Virginia, because we are now the first state, I love absolutely this, first state to be nationally certified as a partner of communities and schools. And while we disagree adamantly, with some of the national, philosophies of communities and schools, all we are doing in West Virginia and all we continue to do is step up and help a kid. Just help a kid. We don't need to, adopt, a policy or whatever it may be. All we really need to do is help a child. And that's what our site coordinators are doing. We're now in 264 schools in 53 counties. 100,000 kids are being helped. And whether it be just a jacket, or maybe some food, or maybe just a kind hand that guides them and helps them and everything. And there's so many success stories, it's off the chart. Like I said, over and over, whether you buy it or not buy it, I think it's the most successful program in the schools that Jim Justice has ever seen. So let's keep it up, and it's really good to get first in the nation as nationally certified. So it's really good. Tonight's joyful night. Now just think about this for a second. This time of year is, it is so special. It is the birth of Jesus Christ. The world completely changed. In all of that, we should be so thankful for all of our blessings. A lot of folks are really hurting, and we want to try to help. We want to try to reach out a hand and everything. And so there's so many things we can do. But one of the things that I thought about, and I thought about this, probably now a couple months ago. I said, West Virginia has an incredible capital, and every time we have joyful night, we light up a tree, and while beautiful as it may be, and the white kind of bluish lights and everything, and it's probably 12 foot tall, and it looks like just a dwarf tree, in front of this amazing capitol. So I said, no, we're not going to do that now. Let's get a gigantic tree. And so at Prairie-Bow National Forest, or State Forest rather, in Randolph County, they brought me pictures and everything. I wasn't really right out in the woods like Clark Griswold was, but they brought me pictures of different trees. And I handpicked this tree. And you got to come. You got to come and see what we're going to light as our Christmas tree tonight, in front of this incredible capitol and everything. And what we're doing is putting another stake in the sand that just says how great West Virginia truly is. Now, is that tree not unbelievably beautiful that you see right there? I mean, for that to naturally grow and be just that, it is unbelievable how pretty that tree is. You got to come tonight. There's all kinds of things that are going to happen and everything. And our First Lady is going to be there. Our curator, Randall Reed Smith, is going to have the bands there and so many different things. It is going to be a real celebration of this time of year and all the greatness that this Christmas holidays brings to all of us. Please show up and everything and see just how wonderful this whole celebration will be. Starts at 6 o'clock. I think we're going to light the tree right at 7. Okay, Kathy today unveiled the First Lady ornament, and it was a celebration of kids, a celebration of education, and a celebration of kids. And so it's beautiful as it may be, or as it can be. It's on sale now. There's a limited amount. There's 500, I think. They're numbered and everything. But you need to think real hard and hustle along and get those, because they'll be gone real quick. I know Baby Doll's pretty daggum popular, but I remember last year, we had 500. We sold them out in 22 hours. So if you're wanting one of these, it's sure a collector's item and everything, but get after it and everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful project. So Kathy, great work. Okay, I'm thrilled to share with you some exciting news about our state's outdoor activities. The annual hunting, trapping, and fishing license and stamps for the 2024 season are now on sale and everything. And this year is historic because you can now purchase lifetime license and gift certificates online through the the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources website. And so do this and everything, and look at all the different things and everything, but great Christmas gifts and good stuff. The Big Buck Photo Contest, I'm reminding all hunters to submit your photo of your buck that you harvested during the 2023 season, along with a short account of your hunt, and a chance to win big prizes that we have, a lot of different things that we have going on and everything. And so finalists will be selected through a random drawing and judged based on, your photo composition and all this great stuff about your big deer that you took. Okay, holiday gifts. I want to remind everyone that about a special release of new holiday gifts from the West Virginia Department of Tourism and the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources and everything. I've talked to you about this before, but all the different things from official gear to calendars to magazines, subscriptions, just all kinds of different things, lifetime hunting licenses and just gift certificates, lots and lots of different stuff. Go on our website and our tourism website and check all this out. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to several principals and administrators at the annual West Virginia Leaders of Education Conference. It was really good. I sat on my little stool there and talked to these folks, and these folks do amazing work. I encouraged them, to keep their energy up and keep doing all the great work that they do all the time. I'm really proud of the fact that at the end of the day, and I've said this 10 million times, but all you got to do is go into school, especially in elementary or middle school. Go into school and go to a classroom. Ask the teacher if there's just a second that she'd step outside the door, and then ask one question. What do you think about your teacher? What do you think about Miss Lily? And I absolutely will promise you, those kids would say, oh, we love Miss Lily. She's just wonderful. And then when you go talk to Miss Lily, just ask her about her kids. Oh, I love my kids. They're the greatest. I love them with all in me. Now, tell me, if the kids love their teacher loves their kids, there's got to be a lot of good stuff going on in that class. And then walk downtown. It doesn't matter if you're in Peyton City or, wherever you are. Walk downtown and say, what about our elementary school? What about our middle school? And you'll find this. The folks in those communities are absolutely really proud of their school. Really proud of their school. With all that being said, if the people in the community love their school, and if there's great stuff going on in the classroom from the standpoint of the kids and their teachers and their teachers and their kids, for God's sakes of living, we got a lot of good stuff going on in our schools in West Virginia. Now, can they be a lot better? You're daggum right. And that's why we want to keep striving to do better and teach our kids more reading and arithmetic, absolutely more and more and more of the good stuff. But absolutely, just remember, if you haven't been in a school, you need to go. You need to go because you'll see what I'm telling you. There's a bunch of things that we can complain about and a bunch of things we've got to make better. We want our test scores to go way up and everything. But at the same time, we don't want to just sit back and say, well, our test scores aren't good, so there's nothing good about our schools. It's not fair. Nevertheless, I've got to congratulate our state champions, in football, Martinsburg, Fairmont Senior, Williamstown. Great work by them, as well as our runner-ups, and that was Princeton, North Marion, and Greenbrier West. What unbelievable seasons all of y'all had. You should all be super proud. Super proud. You will never forget those moments of that season in any way. They will go with you your entire life. I am tickled to death that West Virginia reached the College Cup Final Four. It's unbelievable, and that it's just great work, and we congratulate Marshall as well. But very proud of these incredible soccer teams. From a college football standpoint, Marshall and WVU both are going to a bowl. The Mountaineers take on UNC, the North Carolina Tar Heels, in Duke's is it Mayo? Is that correct? Bowl, and where it is tradition for the winning head coach to get doused in mayonnaise. That would really be something I'd be looking forward to. The Thundering Herd takes on the University of Texas at San Antonio, I guess, in the Frisco Bowl. And they're a former USA opponent. So both schools, good luck to them, I'm sure it'll be a big challenge, but we want a big win, and Coach Brown, I am really looking forward to that mayonnaise all over you and everything, and I congratulate you on an incredible season. Just keep doing the good work, everybody, and Coach Huff as well. That's all I've got right now. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, Governor. Now we'll go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor, staffers, and fellow reporters. Governor, as I'm sure you're aware, there are some pretty intense anti-Jim Justice attack ads being run by your opponent, Alex Mooney, and, of course, Club for Growth, which is backing him. One of the ads says that over the years, you and your family donated to more than 100 Democrat candidates, that some of your money went to the campaigns of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. So I'm wondering what your reaction is to these ads. And as a counterpoint to it, do you think the voters in the state care more about the fact that you were endorsed by President Trump than they do about these ads? Because obviously Trump won here twice, 69% of the vote both times.
Well, Mark, I'm gonna go at it backwards and everything. First of all, I've been close with the Trump family forever. I surely appreciate President Trump's, endorsement in every way. Does anybody in this state even know Alex Mooney? I mean, when it really boils right down to it, he's got some, group that's got a bunch of money, and they're going to throw money at me and everything. It is totally preposterous. It is an absolute ball-flat lie to think that Jim Justice, if you really believe that Jim Justice supported Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton, you have to be totally out of your mind. That's all there is to it. So they can put up whatever they want. It's garbage. It's 18-karat garbage through and through and everything. It's coming from a desperate guy and everything. And I'm really proud of President Trump in every way. I hope and pray he'll be our next president. And And so, all I can say, Mark, is, the people of this state know me. They know me really well. And if they want to believe the garbage that Alex Mooney throws out there, I would only say just one thing. Imagine this. Imagine, here is our congressman of this state, and I think I have only seen him one time in the entire tenure that I've been your governor, for 7 years. I mean, how in the world you could possibly listen to this garbage, I'll never know.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next, we'll go to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, I wanted to ask you about the November revenue report that recently came out. I know we've talked a couple of times about severance tax collections throughout the year. Earlier in the year, our revenue officials estimated that severance taxes were going to be down 66.9% this year. 5 months through the fiscal year, they are down 83%. I was just wondering your assessment of that and your hopes for where we'll finish at the end of the fiscal year. Thank you.
Charles, let me tell you this. I think that the revenue folks do an amazing job. And I think that they're relatively close, but at the same time, it's our job to watch the store, isn't it? That's what I've done. That's what I've done from day one. I have absolutely watched the store. That's why we've kept, for all practical purposes, a flat budget. In doing all that stuff and everything, we're going to continue to watch the store. And if we have a blip in the screen and everything, we'll adjust. We're pushing $300 million of surplus above budget right now. We're hopeful that that's going to continue on. But at the same time, if we have, like I said, that blip, we will do something about it. Now, Charles, we've got to factor in just this. We gave back to the people $750 million in a tax cut. The largest tax cut in this state history, hands down, slam dunk. Slam dunk. And right now we've got a $300 million surplus, or $286 million and change. Who's really counting? But we've got a huge surplus in the state of West Virginia today with giving that tax cut, with that all factored in. I'm telling you, it's hard to argue, from the standpoint of where this started, and where we are today. Anybody in their blooming right mind in any way could say, we walked in the door, they handed us a sheet of paper of a state that was so bankrupt it was off the chart, and today you have the biggest tax cut in history. You have 4, and I'm proposing a 5th, pay raise to all of our state employees and everything, and we'll work on that. You have a reserve fund of hundreds of millions of dollars in case we have a blip on the screen, in regard. You have a rainy day fund and $1 billion on top of all that. We've invested so much money in our roads and schools and economic development, and you have job and you have opportunity beyond belief. No, it's tough. It's really tough if you're a business guy to sit back and come up with anything whatsoever other than you could sit back like I think Clark Griswold's father-in-law that said, that third row of the lights up there is not twinkling, Clark, but I'll tell you right now, there's a hell of a bunch of lights on that house and they're working. So we're really, really happy about all that. And we've got a lot of money that's back in the pockets of our people, and that's where it should have been all along, and we're really, really happy to have that money in the pockets of our people.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next is Stephen Allen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. Going back to community and schools for a moment, I would be kind of curious to know your definition of success for communities and schools. I mean, as you know, our children in the state have many problems, especially when it comes to educational attainment. Some of that's been exacerbated by COVID, of course, but and some of those numbers have begun to come back up. We have a number of factors going into that, including home environment, poverty, all sorts of situations like that. And I think the legislature is actually looking at some additional legislation this session to deal with issues stemming from school discipline, students being verbally and even sometimes physically violent. So there's a number of issues, and I know community schools has been working for a number of years. So what is your definition of success in regards to that program? Thank you.
Okay, Stephen, here's the thing, and that's why I said a few minutes ago, you know, if you could just go to a school, you know, and spend just a second maybe go by the site coordinator or whatever like that at the school and everything that's involved with communities and schools. Or go look at their therapy dogs and just watch the kids when they go by a therapy dog that's in the school. You know, Stephen, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable, the need. And it's peanuts as far as what we've put into communities and schools. You know, in the very beginning, what we put in, and I continue to do exactly that, but what we put in and all we had, really and truly, was my salary. And so we put that in and started at that point in time. But Stephen, you know, you see kids that are so disruptive in the classroom and they can't be managed and they're disrupting 20 other kids, and you have all kinds of issues. And you see them now as they're good students and they're on their way and they really, really need our help. You hear every horror story in the world about, you know, mental health and bad things that can happen at schools and everything. You see them all over the place. And yet, it's difficult to measure. But we can say just this, that there's site coordinators that are touching now 100,000 kids. 100,000, Stephen, at 260 plus schools in the state. And absolutely, when a kid needs something that's really hurting, really, really hurting, all they may need is a coat, you know, because they're cold. Or all they may need is someone to talk to because situations at home are so crazy that a kid is under so much pressure it's unbelievable. Or maybe, just maybe, they're getting bombarded with being bullied, you know, on social media or Facebook or whatever it may be. Maybe they're hungry, Stephen. Maybe they're hungry. And these site coordinators and these people are reacting and they're doing it. And there is so many success stories, it's unbelievable. For nothing, for peanuts in the scope of things. You know, whether it be $2 or $5 million, it sounds like a lot of money, but in the entire scope of our education department and in schools, it's peanuts. And so with all that, the achievement for the peanuts has been unbelievable. Unbelievable. All you got to do is go. Prove me wrong. All you got to do is go to the schools. And you're going to see stuff that you can't imagine. You can't imagine the successes of this program. It's really, really good.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Governor, back to you.
Well, I mean, again, great questions. I appreciate the questions, and you know, I go back to Mark Curtis in the beginning and Mark's question about Alex Mooney, and you know, I appreciate the question. All I do is I hope like crazy Alex Mooney doesn't lose by 50 points. You know, that'd be embarrassing. It's probably going to be really, really bad, but 50 would be a little too much. You know, but anyway, all that being said, and I always say that in jest, you know, I mean, we've got to laugh a little bit, for gosh sakes a living. You know, I mean, like I said over and over, God gave you the ability to smile and laugh, and it's good to tease. I mean, that's all there is to it. I love when people tease me, and I'm going to tease back. You know, so with all that being said, I really, really, really like the question about communities and schools because, gosh, dog, I mean, you can't imagine what kids deal with today versus when I grew up. I'm right with them. I'm right with them. I give my spare time, my breathing time, I give to children because that's what I want to do. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to go off on crazy vacations and travel all over the place. I truly believe that, the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, or dadgum right. And that's what communities and schools is all about. And that's what I'm all about. But I truly would challenge you or ask you, please, take time, just go to your school. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. I mean, what kids are having to deal with and what the folks that are at the schools are dealing with and everything. Sure, it can be a heck of a lot better. And we want to keep working to make it better. And we're going to do that. But anyway, thank you so much.